Hey guys, I was sent a windshield from Kemi Moto and I'm going to show you what they sent me and then I'll go ahead and show you how to install it. This is the box it came in. It came in a larger box than what the actual box is. So you can see the box is a lot smaller. There is some damage on the specific box. That must have been at the factory. The box has a little bit of weight to it, nothing crazy. It does have a 2-year warranty. This box was sent to me from Kemi Moto. They asked me to review their product. So I did not pay for it. They did send it for free. Inside the box, you'll see that there's foam on each side just to protect the edges. And in the middle, there's not really any protection. That's how it looks when it's out of the box. Other than that, you'll see that there's no other protection. There's an instruction manual on how to do the install. This is how the windshield looks when it's opened up. And if you notice, I'm holding the windshield from the lip. It's supposed to be facing outwards when it's on your golf cart. That rubber piece is what clips onto your framing if you want the windshield up. It's really flexible. It's easy to put on and off. That right there is what holds the windshield when it's folded down, and so it doesn't bounce around. It actually holds it in place. Now, if you're wondering what this whole plastic wrap is, there's your hardware in there for mounting, and there's a little shelf where you can put personal items, or I think you can even hold 1 cup there. So I'll show you how that looks once it's installed. If you guys are liking what you see so far, please go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, and share. So I'm gonna go ahead and unwrap this. There's a bunch of plastic on here. I don't know if they own stock in plastic wrap, but it was quite a bit of work to get it off. These are pieces that mount to the windshield, and then the wide open gaps, that's what mounts to your framing. And I'll show you how that's done. Those are also the main mounting points that have screws. You're not gonna see anything else other than those on each side of the windshield. And that's a package of hardware. There's your screws, some little tools. And this is your shelf. There's obviously plastic on it. That's why it looks a little hazy. And those are your mounting brackets for the shelf to mount to the windshield. Just make sure they go the right way. They do go a specific way. There's your product manual and your instructions. And the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and loosen up these nuts and pull them out. And you can do that on the other side as well. Once you're done, go ahead and start kind of prying off the black pieces on each side, and you'll feel them kind of get loose. And then once they're about loose, you can go ahead and kind of yank it off and you're good to go. That's the existing windshield. We're gonna go ahead and remove all the plastic from the windshield. Ideally, I kind of like to leave plastic on things until I'm done installing it because it prevents it from scratching. But in this case, I would need to install the shelf, so I'm gonna remove the plastic so it doesn't get in the way. If you notice, the glass is nice and clear. So that part was a little more difficult to remove, so I had to use the tip of the blade to try to separate the plastic from the windshield. So just be careful, you're not gonna scratch the windshield. I just released it enough to be able to grab it and pull it off. 92 degrees, very hot and sweaty, humid in that garage. There's a shelf. Once again, we're going to remove the plastic. That's the only damage that I see on this whole product. And I don't even think it came from that damaged box, just because of the location of the shelf. Once again, we're going to go ahead and keep unwrapping all this stuff from the plastic. I would say I took the longest out of anything to unwrap all the plastic parts. We're going to go ahead and install those brackets, and that's the hardware you need. That's the way they go. Just like I said, pay attention to which way they go because they face differently. So I'm installing the top one. You could use the tools that are included, but the problem is they're kind of a little annoying to use. So just use them wherever you need to. But if you have other tools to use, just use your other tools. That makes your job easier. That's how it looks. Obviously, it's still loose, but I'm going to tighten it up. Pay attention once again to the brackets because you're going to have a left and right side. Those brackets are going to face inwards. Make sure you're using the right sides. As you see there, I'm using a ratchet. And don't fully tighten everything up front. Leave it a little wiggle room just because when you put the windshield on, you want those pieces to slide so you can easily mount it to the windshield for the brackets to pull towards the windshield. But once you got it nice and flush with the windshield, at that point you could tighten everything up. That's a position that would go on. We're going to use a washer with a gasket, a screw, and one of the nuts. So we're going to insert the gasket with the rubber part facing the glass and just put them all on before you tighten them all down. So in the tight areas, you might have to use this tools they gave you unless you have other tool sets. I just didn't feel like digging through mine, but whatever they gave you is sufficient. It's just sometimes a little tedious to use. This is how they look when they're fully installed. Excuse the background mess. I'm working on that. And these are the pieces you got to install that would mount to the windshield. And just make sure when you put them on that they're not covering that slit where you would mount your other hardware. So you just line it up, tap it in, and that's it. This is the other hardware I was talking about. And you slip that washer with the rubber gasket in between, and just like you see there in the video. And the way it would work is lined up on the windshield, you would stick that long screw through it, and then on the opposite side of the framing, you would go ahead and add the other washer and a nut. If you notice, you got that angle and that rubber piece, those are going to be facing outwards. So just clean off the framing if you need to, and you go ahead and attach the windshield with those black pieces that we mounted. You're going to feel it clip in, and they'll be pretty secure. You can see that the lip is on there. We're going to use the washer, the nut, and we're going to position the hole to make sure it's lining up with the hole on the actual framing. And when you install this, just be careful you're not going to scratch your paint with that windshield. Go ahead and slip that screw in there, or the bolt, whatever you guys want to call it. We're going to put the washer on and the nut. We'll go ahead and tighten that up on both sides. If you haven't noticed, I'm doing a voiceover for this whole video because my audio was horrendous on the video. I don't know if I had issues with my lav mic or whatever the problem was. It just didn't work out. So I'm showing the windshield here. It was down, and those rubber pieces is what holds the windshield when it's down so it doesn't bounce around and make a bunch of noise, and it keeps it in place and prevents it from getting damaged. Once the windshield is up, there's those rubber pieces, and you just open the mouth on it and it wraps around the framing. That's what holds the windshield in place when you have it up. This windshield is not the only one that does it. I would say every golf cart windshield has something similar to that. Overall, so far, I like the way the product looks. I like the clear glass. My other glass wasn't, and I do like that shelf that's on there. This is a shelf, and it will come in handy storing different items, not only golf balls. This is how it looks when it's all installed on the golf cart. My previous glass was tinted, which was cool, but then again, I wear sunglasses in the daytime, so it really doesn't matter with the tinted glass. The negative with the tinted was that at night it was harder to see. But this is a really clear view. Obviously it's not nighttime yet, but since this video I've driven it at night, and it's way more clear obviously than the tinted one, and I can see a lot better. I hope you found the installation useful. Hopefully it gave you enough information to go ahead and install the actual windshield. Overall, the windshield is actually pretty nice. At first I wasn't sure if I liked that piece that goes in the front. It's like a little storage compartment. I see where it comes in handy. If we have phones, we could put them in there instead of the cup holder. That's what I currently do. If my wife has a purse or whatever it is, we could put it in a little storage compartment and it would come in very handy. This specific windshield is clear. My previous windshield was tinted. Now there was positive and negatives of both. So the previous windshield, it was tinted, so if it's sunny, you have a tinted windshield. The only thing is, most of the time when I'm out in the golf cart, I have my sunglasses on. This specific windshield is not tinted, which I like better because at night it's actually a little difficult to see with the tinted windshield. I haven't tested this at night, but I can already see that there's a huge difference in the clarity of the windshield. Another thing I've noticed, when I took it for a spin, I just went up and down my street, I noticed that the windshield doesn't blow in. So my previous windshield, with the wind, it would kind of blow in and kind of bow. This one seems to be a little more straight and sturdy. I don't know if it's acrylic that actually is thicker, maybe a little more durable, or it's possible that that little storage compartment gives a little bit of rigidity to prevent it from kind of bowing in with a high wind or with wind. It was kind of windy outside when I took it for a spin. Other than that, I think it's a nice unit. I did have a little crack on it, but that's not the fault of Kemi Moto. It just was shipped that way. I think I'm gonna hold on to it and see how it goes. I'll test it out. If anything, if there's anything I don't like, I'll probably do a follow-up video. But for the most part, so far, I'm not upset with the quality of the product. If you guys do like this product, I will add my Amazon affiliate link in the description. Click on that link. It'll take you directly to the product on Amazon. Thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe.